Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, and it's Debsy, and place to be, it's Debsy. Bloop, bloop, that's me. Boop, Debsy. Hey, welcome back to my low energy channel. That's how I feel like right now. Welcome back to my channel, and happy Sunday. I hope everybody had a wonderful weekend and a great day. I had to work today because I don't know if I told you guys, but I did not realize that I had to work every Sunday in April, including like Easter, which I didn't realize. So every Sunday in April, I am working. But I do have a day off next week. Actually, I have 2 days off next week because I took tomorrow off. And then I have Wednesday off. So I did not do anything to my hair. Listen, as you can see, this hair needs done. It is going to be getting cut. It's going to be getting colored on Saturday, this coming Saturday. So thank God. Okay, let's talk about Ladies of London. It's season 4. This is Ladies of London, the new reign. It's season 4. I don't remember what episode, so let's get into it. You know how when they show like previously on Ladies of London, how did I miss that Margot's husband didn't want to marry her, but it sounds like she kind of made him. She's like, he didn't want to marry me, but I told him he had to. What that's about. Okay. Let's just talk. Micah's brother, Braun, is in town. He lives in Boston, maybe? Well, listen, Braun, he got that sweet stash. He got that handlebar mustache that is crafted meticulously. It looks like it is just perfectly crafted and curated into like into the Stash Hall of Fame. But he's a trainer. And so she is meeting up with all the other M ladies. I say all the other M ladies because it's Margot, Missy, Martha, and Micah. They're all going to work out with Braun because he's a trainer. And the best part of the episode had to be when Braun took his shirt off. It did not go unnoticed by the ladies. I'm gonna tell you what, if I was Missy or if I was Martha, I would be trying to get with that, especially if I was Missy. Because listen, Missy's tits out, and Missy's like sun's out, tits out. But if I had that kind of body, I would be trying to get with Braun because that body was banging. So afterwards, they were talking, and Margot, it was like, how's Margot feeling? Margot, after the whole ordeal, the whole scene at the My Fair Lady party, the My Fair Lady picnic party, she's feeling attacked, she's feeling bullied, she's feeling ganged up on. I don't blame her. And she also feels like she feels alone because everybody was being very neutral. Like nobody was really stepping up and coming over and helping her out. Martha, listen, Martha is such a kind person, but she always just tries to see the good in like everybody. She's saying that about Kimmy. She's saying that Kimmy has a heart of gold. She has a heart of gold, and she acts the way that she acts because that's how I guess because of how she was raised in her childhood. That's how she has to act, maybe to protect herself or as a form of self-preservation. But then they started talking about Mark, and Martha thinks that he is the way that he is because he's going in for the laugh. Like she thinks he's just going for a laugh. Like he just wants to make people laugh, but he's not mean. And she says sometimes his way of being funny is being cruel. And he thinks it's cool, but I don't. I really I don't think that's funny. I don't think it's funny. I don't think it's cool. I mean, I agree with Margot. If you want to be funny, then just be funny. Like, I can be funny without being an asshole to people or being cruel. And I know they were saying it was called being like polite, posh, or I don't know. But it's that whole thing of like being real nasty to someone, but saying it in like a condescending, like a polite, it seems like it's polite. And it seems like they're trying to give you a compliment, but it's a extremely backhanded compliment that punches you in the face as they like smile and look down their nose at you. I didn't like it. I hated it. And Marco's like, listen, I know with Kimmy, she's forthcoming. Like, it's almost like, you know what kind of person she is, and she won't shy away from saying what kind of person it is. Like, she'll own up to the person that she is, but Mark isn't. Mark's extremely two-faced. Like, he'll say one thing to you in front of your face and then go behind your back and talk incredible shit on you. She thinks he's insecure because he feels like the version that he puts out there is just better than the real him. Martha says, and this doesn't get me either. Martha says he has a heart of gold, and it's that heart of gold that makes him mean and want to make everyone laugh. Well, that doesn't make sense. If you have a heart of gold, why would that make you mean? Like, that doesn't make any sense to me. It's a total, it's complete opposite ends of the spectrum. And honestly, I wish Martha would just stop it with that, because, like, does he have a heart of gold? If he had a heart of gold, then he wouldn't be so condescending and just so mean. Because if you're truly a kind person, you're not mean. And I have here also, how does having a heart of gold make me? Exactly. Margot's like, he's a liar and maybe he's a psychopath. What he says to me sounds funny, but it's meant to be hurtful. And then he gaslights me and everybody else by saying that, it's funny, but it's funny. Here's the thing. No, I'll save this for later. So Missy is like, hey, listen, maybe me and Micah can talk to him. That's another thing. Micah is having a birthday party at a polo club. Like, she loves polo. She loves watching polo, and she's going to have a party there. And I think some of them are going to get on horses and play polo. So that should be fun. Okay. Also at the same time, Mark goes to these two gentlemen for help in decorating his new house in Florence. I did not know this, but his Flundon, that's crossed between flat and London. His flat in London actually in the past belonged to Oscar Wilde. Interesting. And he lets us in a little bit to his childhood. He says parents were collectors, and so it seems like he maybe never had the regular normal childhood. He spent a lot of time in auction houses. He never really hung out with kids his own age. So really, maybe what we're looking at is genuinely how he is because of how he was raised. When he was raised, to me, it didn't sound like he had the usual normal trappings of a regular childhood, of a normal childhood, like everyone else his age would have. And a producer had said to him, you have a reputation of being aloof and untouchable. And Mark had taken that as like, oh, well, thank you, like a compliment. And he said, it's a safety mechanism. So to me, I'm like, was this his safety mechanism and his way of like maybe making sure that no one gets close enough to him so that they can't hurt him? I'm wondering. Okay, Mark and Kimmy meet at Mark's house. They talk about Martha, and Kimmy is like, she is a genuinely kind person. But maybe that's what leads her to be like taken advantage of. She's very, very smart, but they say she's very, very smart, but also it seems like they're saying she's scatterbrained. And Kimmy said she becomes very different around Margot. So then they start talking about Margot, and Kimmy's like, she's disingenuous. She only hangs around Margot, around Martha because of who she knows. And Mark says something like, she'll be found out soon, or something like that. Okay, speaking of Margot's family is all together, and they're celebrating the 4th of July. Now, obviously, the UK does not have 4th of July. Instead, they have what's known as Guy Fawkes Day. F-A-W-K-E-X. Guy Fawkes Day. It's celebrated on November 5th. They light bonfires because, from what it sounded like, Guy Fawkes was burned at the stakes because he attempted to burn down Parliament. So they have Guy Fawkes Day over there. And this means a lot to her. Like, she really has to get the whole family on board, especially her husband, and loving London, because she wants to go back to work. She wants to start acting again, but it has to be in London because she's done all of her work in London. She hasn't had any work over here. Remember the last time she came over to the US and she tried to get work in LA and in Hollywood, and she couldn't. They were like, she's too old. You know, like the only way that it seems like you're going to get work in Hollywood if you're old is if you were already in it, you know, like, I mean, if you've been doing it for decades and decades. So it needs to work out for her over there. They need to really love it. Okay, Micah FaceTimes her husband, Marco. He is in Zurich. Marco is half Argentine and Swiss. And he's the one who actually had gotten Micah interested in polo. And I was thinking, oh my gosh, so he's not going to be there to celebrate her birthday? That's crummy. But her birthday was actually, I think, like 3 or 4 days before. So he was actually in town. He was in town to celebrate the actual birthday. Okay, so speaking of Micah's birthday party, it says Micah's birthday party. It's held at Ham Polo Club. And it looks like we're going to get maybe a ceasefire here, like a little truce in the Kimmy versus Margot battle, because Kimmy says to Martha that I will be nice to Margot for you. And Margot's like, in confessional, she's like, I'm just so tired. I am so dead tired that I don't want any bullshit. So if she wants to be nice, if she wants to be civil, then I'll be civil. They're getting along. They're laughing. They're getting along. And then, here comes Mark. Hello, darling. Happy birthday. Hello, darling. Happy birthday. And it's about to change. Why do I have MF? I'm trying to think of who MF is. Okay, so he comes in. He walks past everybody. He hugs Margot, but then he says to, on his confessional, well, I block out irrelevant things. I'm distinctly uninterested in Margot. There's nothing that fascinates me about her, nothing that I find interesting, and I think that bothers her. And then here's another thing. There was this conversation between Kimmy and Missy. And Kimmy's like, oh no, don't think about dating. Don't think about dating a polo player. You want to date the owner of the team. They're the ones who have the money. The polo players, they don't make anything. Oh, they're poor. And annually in like US dollars, it comes out to like $1 million that they make a year. I mean, I guess for them $1 million is not a lot, but to me that is $1 million a year. Yeah, in 1 year. Yeah, that's not bad. And then we then find out Mark's dad is in the hospital. He tells him and Emma are talking, and his dad is in the hospital. I don't know, that it doesn't sound that great. And he is going to visit him the next day. Mark's going down and visiting him next day. And he's saying, you know, at his age, the only thing that you can really do is, you know, keep them comfortable and just comfort them. And he said, comfort them if they'll let you do it, if they'll let you. And he said, and he won't. So it sounds to me like maybe they don't have the greatest relationship. And that is really sad, because, you know, you don't want that very last word that you had with your parent, with your father, to be like, with anybody, to be something that was negative. You just don't want that. So he's going to go visit his dad. Okay. So the ladies that end up playing polo are the M's. Margot, Missy, Martha, Micah. And listen, I love Martha. You can tell what a genuinely kind person Martha is. When she was so sweet with that horse. And I think she's just kind and sweet with animals in general. But she was she just like, you could tell that she just like opened up. She was just like, her heart just became full when she saw that animal. And so we find out too, though, from Kimmy that Martha was the best side rider in the UK at one time. And Martha, I don't know if I didn't. Oh, yeah, I have it listed back here. So Martha, I missed this. Let's talk about Martha. Because Martha has been working out of the gym, and she is kind of turning a corner. She says that she loves horses. She had a horse named Daphne, and Martha was having trouble paying her bills, and she was low on finances. So she had to loan Martha out. So Daphne is now living with her friend. So her goal is to ride again, and she would like to go out and visit Daphne, but she's worried that it's gonna be too much for her. Like it's gonna hurt her heart too much, you know, to see Daphne and not be able to keep her. But so everybody else watches, and they're talking, and Emma is like, to Mark, says, well, apparently you ruffled some feathers at the picnic, and I'm not surprised. Mark saying, how could I ruffle some feathers? She was wearing 150 dead pigeons. And then he called them pigeons. Pigeons. Emma says, well, she thinks that Mark has been saying things about her behind her back. And Kimmy's like, he has. And then Lottie jumps in and says, well, I heard that it's become very personal for her, and that she's been crying. And Kimmy in confessional says, well, anybody who cries over someone criticizing what they wear has a lack of important issues in their life. And and everybody's laughing at this. Well, not everybody, but most of the people are laughing at this. But honestly, I think this comes down to like the difference in the British versus England, or British versus England, British emotions and how they display them versus Americans and how they display their emotions. I feel like, well, it's obvious that Americans display their emotions much more readily. And whereas the English have this whole keep calm and carry on, stiff upper lip, you don't really show, if there's something wrong, you don't let it show. You just move through it, you know? And so that could be one reason why she's taking it so hard, but also she just feels really alone. You know, like at the time that happened, maybe her family might not have been over here yet. And when she felt like she was getting attacked, no one really came over and said anything and helped her out. Everybody was kind of remaining neutral. And so I can see that. And then Lottie in confessional is like, is Mark some kind of fashion guru? I mean, Margot's allowed to wear whatever she wants to wear without people getting real bitchy and backstabby. And I agree. But then listen, they were all done with the polo match. Not me crying over Martha riding the horse. Listen, she just took off and she was riding the horse and she looked so happy. She was smiling and she just looked free and she looked so happy. And I thought maybe her hard days are behind her. Maybe she's turning a corner. And then she sat down and she was talking with Kimmy, and Kimmy was like, I have never seen you look more, you look beautiful out there and you looked so happy. And Kimmy said, Martha said, she feels strong. I feel stronger and I feel like more like Martha. So I am so happy. I really hope that this is the start of brighter days for Martha, because I love Martha. Okay, Missy then talks to Mark about Margot. There's a lot of M's. And Missy says that basically what's upsetting Margot is that you're saying one thing to her face and then you're saying something else behind her back. And Mark's like, well, I won't say anything to her, period, behind her back or to her face, because she's so inconsequential to me. She should just relax. And Missy's like, she's crying and she's really upset. He's like, she's an actress. So many things matter. This doesn't matter. When Missy tells Mark that Margot feels bullied, and he immediately is like, she wasn't. Mark says he was bullied, and what he did wasn't bullying her. If you criticize somebody's looks or what somebody's wearing, then that's at the most unkind. And sometimes I feel like the word bully is thrown out sometimes a little too casually and maybe a little too haphazardly, because I was bullied in school for being fat. And I mean, it didn't look like that. However, I can't tell. I'm not the person to tell somebody else how to feel. So if she felt like she was bullied, then I would let her have that feeling. I mean, I might have used another word, like maybe verbally attacked or ganged up on, but I don't know if I would have said bullied. But once again, I'm not going to tell somebody else how they feel. Maybe Mark acts this way because, like she said, because he's insecure. I mean, if he was bullied a lot, then I would think that you would do you would do one of two things. That you would like just either completely cut yourself off from people, or maybe he's just doing it because he is just keeping people, he wants to be out in society, but he wants to keep people at arm's length that he thinks might not have the best intentions for him. Lottie then is talking to Margot, and she's like, I stood up for you. I stood up for you with Mark. I like you. And Lottie had said that Mark said that Margot does things for attention. And in her confessional, Lottie was basically saying, like, listen, grow some balls and stand up to Mark. Like, you're a person who at 21 was doing this sexy ass movie and having like schmacks on screen at 21, and you can't stand up to him. Come on, stand up to him. And then at the end of all of this, Emma invited everyone with everything to Longleat. So they're going to be going to Longleat, and it looks like that truce between Kimmy and Margot may not still be in place. How about that? Okay, so listen, if you watched this week, let me know. It is 7:49, so I have to go get myself ready for Real Housewives of Rhode Island, get myself ready for Rory, and get myself changed, get myself ready. And so I am going to talk to you tomorrow. I have tomorrow off. So I have tomorrow off. I will be making a video tomorrow where we're going to talk about Rhode Island. And if nobody told you yet today, you are loved, seen, and heard. Please make sure that you put love, kindness, compassion, acceptance, hope, and positivity out there so it comes right back at you. Please, let's hydrate with some water. We're going to finish this one. Almost. And always remember, please be aware of your surroundings, be smart and safe. Let's hydrate with some water, which I just did. And if you're in a dangerous situation, please know that Dolly and I are sending out our love, thoughts, prayers, and positive energy your way so you make it through. Love you guys, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye, guys. Bye.